going on, everybody? It's Wolf Craze here, one of the 4 members of Amateur Hour Commentary, and today for our Patreon video I am going to be showing you guys how to set up a basic scene, kind of like what we do for our channel. Give you the groundwork foundation for how to start streaming yourself, or at least boost your streaming quality if you don't know how to do so already. I'm going to teach you some of the basics that I do, and that's how I started, and you know, you can build off of there, and we'll kind of explain a little bit, but we're not going to get too fancy, we're not going to get too detailed. We're just looking for the basic stuff here. If you guys find this video interesting, please make sure to let me know, and also if you want more detailed explanations for how to make a more advanced stream, please let me know and I will make one of those videos for you. But without further ado, let's get to it. Alright guys, so this is how we're going to start. We're going to take a blank slate. Essentially, you can see right here I have a new scene down here, and I have display capture here so you guys can see, but we're going to make some changes to that, and you'll see very soon what I mean. Essentially what we're going to review is how to put up some new stuff, how to customize it, make it your own. And what a lot of people are really interested in are those fancy doodads, the headers, the borders, stuff like that. Give you an example, something along these lines, like having the header up here, having a couple images in the background, or maybe taking something like this, where you have a couple of images posted over the play screen with your own border, stuff like that. We're going to be reviewing a few things that you can do to enhance your streaming experience that maybe you could take and use for yourself. So why don't we just start with a blank slate here. And one of the first things that you want to do is you want to go over, and you might want to head over to the themes. If you click on the themes, you can come into this store, I'm going to say quote unquote store, and you can search for different themes that are kind of to your taste. Now, Streamlabs used to provide more free content, but since they have partnered with I believe it was Twitch, which would mean Amazon, now there's premium packs. So a lot of the stuff that you see on my channel or on Amateur Hour, those are scenes that either you have to pay for, or fortunately I was able to get for free on my own personal. So a lot of those are now premium packs, but you can come in here and you can find something that is to your taste. Some of these are very specific, like if you come into Ice Cold, we're just going to go through this real quick and give you an idea. So it gives you a layout, an idea of the layout. Very cool. I actually really like this one. You got stream ending soon, be right back, stream starting soon, offline, and intermission. So those are all the different things that will be given to you. Here's a window frame, a header, a couple of things that like latest cheer, Facebook, stuff like that, so you can put all your tags in there. This is actually a really cool setup. I wouldn't mind getting it myself, but it is a Prime, it's not free, so this is one that you would actually have to pay for. So I would encourage you guys, if you want to become a Prime member, you can search through these. There's 45 pages, or you can refine your search by going to the theme category, theme colors, animated or static, and you can pick whatever one best suits you. Alright, so coming back to this screen, what we're going to want to do is add a little bit of our own flair. We're going to click on the plus sign to add a source. We're going to go to image, and we're going to want to find an image that suits us, something that kind of defines us as a streamer. We're going to want to hit the add a new source instead of picking something that comes from the existing file library already. As you can see, I have a plethora of different items in here. If I wanted to add one of these, because it's already saved, I could just click on one and then hit add source, and it'll automatically add it to the scene. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to find a new source. So we're going to click this slider. You can always change the name if you want to. We're going to leave it as image 2 for now. Hit add source. Then we're going to go to browse. We're going to search for something in here that we really like. For me in particular, I really like this background. The new I ended up creating this collage, and it's a little bit representative of who I am, because I do love virtual reality. So you can see that the image is a little bit bigger than our actual screen itself, or the image display itself. So to correct that, what we want to do is we want to right click on the image. We're going to go over to transform, and there's a variety of different things that we could select from. A lot of very standard stuff. You can either hit edit transform, so you could do it manually, or you can select one of the presets, and we're just going to stick with the presets here because they work just fine. I generally recommend using stretch to screen or fit to screen depending on the image size and quality, and for these purposes we're going to click fit to screen. As you can see, it shrunk the image, so now it fits within our image border perfectly. Okay, so next what we're going to do, now that we have that image in the background, what we want to add next is our actual game footage. So to do that, we're going to click plus in our sources category so that we can add another source. We're going to find video capture device, and we are going to select from our capture card. So if you want to be streaming through Slobs, Streamlabs OBS, regular OBS, or XSplit, you're going to have yourself a capture card. You can either have an Elgato, AverMedia, Blackmagic, or some other capture card device. It can be internal or external. You can really use either one. It doesn't really matter. Some of them are better than others. I would recommend going with an internal because there's a lot less delay in the image and the audio. So I'd always recommend go with an internal capture card if anything, but if you're on a budget, go ahead and get a external capture card. They are getting better. If you have the internal capture card or an external capture card, as long as you have one, then you should be good to go. You're just going to select the video capture device, click add source, and you can see I already have one here. Hey, there's me. What's up, everybody? Or you can select video capture device, which I already have. Or if you want to, you can click add new source. We're just going to add new source so I can show you step by step how to get that image up there. So we're going to click this slider. We'll leave it video capture device. You can rename that anything you want. Hit add source, and it's going to come up to this screen. Now you can see that my capture card has already been selected. Okay, but you can see that the image quality really isn't that great. Okay, and it looks a little bit scrunched. The font is a little bit jagged. It's really hard to read. Well, you're going to want to select this device tab, this drop down box, and you're going to see a bunch of different options. You have my webcam in there. You can also use XSplit Broadcaster. We'll pull in from that source as well, or you have another option here, in this case AverMedia LGHD Stream Engine -1. Okay, so you can do HD too, but you're going to want to go with the option that fits the screen the best. So why don't we click on this? Alright, so as you can see, it fills the background with the entire video capture, which is exactly what we want. When we pull this up again, the settings for the video capture device, we now have our image of our gameplay. There are a bunch of different settings here that you could look into. I would recommend leaving those alone unless you're familiar with it, or unless you know someone else who is familiar with it and can help you with it, like resolution, FPS, video format, space and range, buffering, all that stuff. If you're not familiar with it, leave it alone. Don't touch it unless you want to be a little bit more advanced or do something unique, something very unique, but you have to be familiar with this stuff. If you're not, I would recommend leaving it alone for now. And for the purposes of what we're learning here today, we're just going to leave it alone. So I'm going to click done, but I don't want the gameplay to take up the entire window because I had that really cool background. I want to showcase that a little bit. So I'm going to take the video capture and I'm going to shrink it. So now as I shrink it, you can pull it from the sides, you can pull it from the top, you can pull it from the corners. It doesn't really matter because regardless of where you're pulling it from, it's going to keep the same resolution and window essentially that you want it. And you're going to want to find the right size. So I want a little bit of the border to be there because I like the blue. It really makes things stand out, makes it pop. But because I can't really see the pixel count, so I got 90 over here, 34 up here, I can't really see that too well. I can't make sure that it's 100% center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click. You can either right click on the image source up here or on the source down here. You're going to click on that. You can go to the transform and you can pick one of these presets: center on screen, center horizontal, and center vertical. Because we want it smack dab in the middle, we're going to select center on screen, and now it's pixel perfect right in the middle. But we want to make this a little bit more unique. Our name isn't up here. We don't know where it is. No one knows who we are unless they search for us on Twitch or YouTube or whatever service you're actually streaming to. So we want to make sure that we're identifiable. To do that without using some sort of header or without going in and getting a theme, because let's say you can't afford a theme or there aren't free themes that you actually like, you can make this unique. Again, we have our own border that's unique in and of itself. What you can do is put up your own name and put up your own tags. You can do this so you can add as many text files as you want. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit the plus button under the sources. You're going to find the text GDI plus. You're going to hit add source. Now you can see here's my whole library, but we're not going to pick one of those. We're going to add a new one. So we're going to click this slider, change the name if you would like, add source, and then you're going to type it in here. In this case, it's the Wolf Craze. You can pick whatever font that you want. In my particular case, Arial Black or Impact work fine. I'm going to select Impact because that's one of my favorites. You can change the font size, and I would recommend if you want to blow up this window or this text box, you're going to want to increase the font size. If you don't change the font size, then when you stretch the box, the letters are going to look warped, jagged, and it's just going to look messy. It's not going to be crisp and clean. So now that we've increased the size, it could be larger, which we can do by dragging the box. But before we do that, we're going to pick the color. Because blue is my color, I'm going to select blue. You have a variety of different colors here. Pick whichever one you want. Now we can see it's blue. It's nice, dark and blue. I love the dark blue. Looks very, very good. Okay, and then you can change the opacity if you would like so that it's a bit see-through, so it doesn't stand out more than your video game that you're playing or whatever you're broadcasting. But I'm going to leave it nice and vibrant because I want my name to stand out. You can change the background color too. In this particular case, it's black. Right now the opacity is quite low, but if you increase it, you can see that it darkens. You can decrease it a little bit and it'll become more see-through. And the more you decrease the opacity. In this case, I just want to keep that off. However, a stale static blue is kind of boring, so I'm going to add a gradient. You could change a gradient color from one color to another. In this particular case, let's see, what do we want to go with? White is a little too bright for me. What if we go towards red? Now we got a mix of red and purple. Looks kind of cool. I guess I'll leave that. Looks pretty nice. You can change the gradient opacity, and the more you turn it down, the more solid of a color it looks, and the darker the gradient. Being too bright here is a little bit too red, a little bit too purple, so I'm going to bring that down just a little bit. And you can also change the gradient direction. The more you move it along the slider, the different direction it's going to be coming from. I liked it at 90, so I'm going to pick 90. As it's coming up from the bottom, I like that. And then I also want to add an outline, which is another option. So you can select outline. I like the white. The white really makes it pop, really makes it stand out, but I don't want it to pop that much. So again, here's another opacity slider. I'm going to tone down that outline just a little bit so it's still noticeable, but doesn't stand out too much. We're going to click done. I'm going to take this and I'm going to bring it all the way down here because I don't want it on the blue because that would be really hard to see. Instead, I'm going to put it right there in the game window. And there's your name. There are fancy things that you can do with this. So if I were to right click, you can see that there's a filter right here, and that filter allows you to do a variety of different things, which includes scrolls, which we might go over in the future if you guys want to see more videos on how to do this. Okay. But filters are there to make it a little bit more unique and do some fun things with that. But that's how you would add any kind of text. If you want to do that, you can add as many text boxes as you want. But we want to add a little bit more uniqueness here. In this case, Wolf being my last name, I kind of make that my theme. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the plus button under sources again. I'm going to go to image. I'm going to add source. And I already have this in my library, this wolf icon here, this emote, and I really like this. This kind of identifies me. It's my last name. I love VR, and it's got WC on it, Wolf Craze. Like what you would do with any other image, you would just add new source, and then add the new source, and then add the picture the way that we did with the background. In this case, I'm going to make sure that this one's selected, add source. You see it in the upper left hand corner here. I'm going to drag this down over. I'm going to make it nice and big. And as you can see, I'm going to put it right here in the corner. I can put it off a little bit so that it covers a little bit of everything, but I'm going to try to keep everything within this game box as much as possible. You can see it's covering my name, and that's a little bit of an issue, but that leads us into the discussion about the order of your sources, which is important. What I'm going to do is I'm going to blow this up a little bit so you can see a little bit clearer. Okay. So the order of your sources is important because it shows you what's going to be in front of what. As you can see, the text and the image are in front of the display capture, which is allowing you to see what I'm doing on screen. If I were to blow this up, you can see it still sits in front. So to change that, what I would do is take these and bring them below the display capture, making sure the display capture is in front. As you saw, my name, the Wolf Craze, went right behind the display capture. Same thing with the image. If I brought it behind the display capture, now if I were to blow this image up, it's now sitting behind the display capture. We still have the issue of the wolf emote being in front of my name, so I'm going to do the same thing I just did, drag it behind the text, and now the text pops over it. So now it's the Wolf Craze, and we have my emote. Now that's sitting in the corner. So that's how you would set up your basic scene, and you can add as many of these images as you would like. That is just the start. This allows you to have a uniqueness to your stream and to your channel, and you can change this as many times as you want, add new images, add new text layers, but that is your basic scene layout right there. If you want to add audio, such as a microphone, or if you have a webcam, you can add that stuff. I would recommend that if you want to verbally chat with your chat while you're going live, add a microphone. There are a variety of different kinds. I'm using the Blue Yeti microphone. It's nice and cheap, super affordable for people living on a budget, and it's really good quality. It's the mic I'm using right now. To do that, you would again go to the sources, you would click add, you would click audio input capture, built-in microphones, USB microphones, or other USB devices. You would hit add source, and as you see, my Yeti's already in there, and then you would just click add source. If not, you can always click the slider, have audio input capture. You can change the name, of course, hit add source, and then you would find your microphone. So if you have a microphone plugged in, it will come up in here and you'd be able to find it without any issues. In this case, microphone, Yeti stereo microphone, that's the one I want to be using. I select that, hit done, and as you see here, it's got a little microphone symbol, and you might want to keep that in the front of everything because that is definitely important. All right, that's going to do it for now, guys. That is your basic stream setup for streaming. If you are short on funds or you're living on a budget, that is a very simple way to get things started. If you want to add your own flair, if you want to do your own thing, that is the best way to go. If you want to see a little bit more advanced techniques, go ahead and leave comments below, and I'd be willing to make the video for you guys. But that's going to be it for now, and until next time, folks, peace.